Hi guys, welcome back. Glad you're joining me. Hopefully you had a chance yesterday to watch the little intro video that I did that explains what we're doing on this vlog and this little project that we have in August. So our plan is to go through the book of Philippians for the month of August, and we're going to take one chapter each week. And so this week we get to start in Philippians 1. And one of the things that I do when I set out to start a book of the Bible is I really ask myself a few questions before I even read the text or look for application. I ask myself some important observation questions like, who is the author of this book? Who is the author writing to? Where is the author writing from? And why is this author writing the book? And the theme of Philippians is encouragement. We're going to find out that Paul is writing this letter from prison. He's writing from prison, and he's using his words and his circumstance to encourage others. So keep that in mind as we go through Philippians 1 this week. And there were three major themes that I picked up on in chapter 1. And the first of it being community. Paul starts right off telling us, thanking God in his prayers for his friends. You can feel his affection in this letter where he says, I long to be with you. He's thankful that he has others to share God's grace with. And he even calls them partners in the gospel. So as you're reading this book, I want you to think about, do you have community? Do you have others in your life that can encourage you, that can challenge you? Because this Christian life is not meant to be lived alone. And even Paul is in need of that encouragement. So how much more are we? So I challenge you throughout these 4 weeks, would you find somebody in your life that you can kind of process what you're reading and what you're learning and going through? And if you need help finding someone, call me. I'd love to go to coffee with you, or maybe find somebody that could come alongside you in this time to help encourage you. And another big theme that I found in this chapter was circumstances. Paul is in prison writing this as a book of encouragement, and he says to his friends that he's writing to in verse 12, "Now I want you to know, brethren, that my circumstances have turned out for the greater progress of the gospel." He's telling us that his circumstance, this bleak, hopeless, dark, lonely place that he's in, is actually advancing the gospel. He goes on to tell us the verses after that he's preaching Christ to the people that he's chained up with. He's preaching Christ to the people that have chained him up. So as you think about that, I don't know what circumstances you're in, but I know when I'm in circumstances that feel hopeless and dark, like a prison, I'm not really thinking about advancing the gospel. I'm thinking about, God, get me out of my circumstance. So as we read through, and he even ends this chapter telling us that it's not only a benefit to us to believe in Christ, but we suffer for his sake. So community, circumstances, and trusting Christ in suffering are some big themes in chapter 1 of Philippians. And I just want to leave you with this final thought. We have two choices in suffering. We can beg God to remove our pain. God, get me out of this. I don't want any part in this. I don't even care that you're sanctifying me. We can beg, remove my pain. Or like Paul, we can have a perspective in suffering that says, redeem my pain. Use my circumstance, use my suffering for your glory. So as you go through chapter 1, keep those things in mind.